Hello, and welcome to the Three Geeks in a Pod pre-show. We're starting in 5 minutes for any of you that don't know what we usually do. So we're going to just sit here and do nothing for 5 minutes.
Nothing.
Until everybody in the chat comes, and then we will start proper.
Yes, we'll start proper.
Hopefully the sound works. I'm knitting.
Errol's knitting. I'm going to see how long I last before I get too insanely nervous.
About what? What are you nervous about now?
That you're not going to talk.
What? Why won't I talk?
Because you're concentrating on knitting.
I can talk and knit at the same time.
Can you?
I can. Look at me. Talk and knit. Talk and knit. Anyway.
We're
tired. Although we'll explain
tired.
why we're tired.
Yes.
It's not really a real good reason.
Oh, Angel and Ink is here. Look at that.
Oh, hello, Angel and Ink is here. Woo! Hello, Mercenary Pen. Hello, Jam.
We're in Errol's house, so he can be as loud as he
wants. Oh, yeah, I can.
You can,
That's
shout
awesome.
to the rafters if he wants to.
It's going to be great, except I won't, because I don't have any energy, because people keep me out late.
Thanks, Ja-Mez. Ja-Mez,
Jam.
Oh,
yay.
Yeah. I can talk into the same time. Can't today. Oh, you get really in-zoney when you knit. Yeah, there you go. You get really, blocking out everything around you.
I'm a programmer. What do you expect?
Well, that works. Yeah, I guess.
See? You like it when I don't talk. Then you guys can,
No, I don't, because you lead conversations. I'm all nervous and stuff.
No, you are fine with leading conversations. Just go, hi, I'm single. I want you. Do you not want to hear that on the first date? You know how great that works for you?
Mm-hmm.
We have a series called Dating and Dining, which we aren't plugging through this
Dining
podcast.
and dating.
Dining and dating, yes. But of course, then again, anybody that watches that series probably watches this podcast. So
Errol's style of multitasking, knitting and harassing Manda at the same time.
That I can do quite easily.
Yes. When it comes to talking about our actual topic tonight, which we kind of had to think of last minute, Errol suggested it. So Kari joined. There's Kari.
Kari! Woo!
I'm worried now because it's like more and more energy getting expended with each greeting and
Kari! Almost done this row.
Woo!
And then let's see, it'll be time to start.
Let's play a game tonight. Let's play a game called Will Errol Have to Start This Totoro Over Again?
No, I hope not. This Totoro's for Debbie Ogie, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, Deb's told me that this Totoro's for the Debbie Ogie.
Nice.
It's been taking me a couple months to get it done because I keep restarting it. Sad state of affairs.
It's sad.
Actually, I could probably find out for sure because I kept a log on the first one and then I ripped it up. So we could probably find out when I first started this thing.
How energetic the harassment gets. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, poor me, poor little me up there on the wall.
See, I can just get pity, although he fully admitted the other day that there was never actually any pity.
No, it depends on the day when there's pity or not.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
When is there pity?
When it's particularly a bad day of the man pan teasing.
Oh, when I have when you tease me. Well, that's just the weird thing. You tease, and then you pity me for getting teased.
Oh, because of your reaction.
Yeah.
I pity you because of the reaction.
Yeah, that's Kari says, yeah, that's the voice I hear in my head when the old T chats messages to me.
Awesome! I'm glad you hear that voice, Kari. If anybody sees the Debs and Errol comic on Saturday, it's about Kari and I and how there's a small contingent of people that I chat to on GChat.
Mm-hmm.
And Kari's one of them. I don't know why, because she's always off to trying to teach you something, but I can't help myself.
Yeah.
And I go, hello, Kari! Kari!
Alright, we're at 8 o'clock.
Oh, wait, I'm almost done in my room. Sorry, it's 8 o'clock. I'm too busy yelling. So I'll just finish this. Okay, what are we going to say as our beginning thing?
Well, usual. Hello, welcome to Three Geeks.
Okay, you do the intro, because I always do the intro.
You just want to knit more.
I'm almost done.
Almost done.
So
Okay.
you do it, because it should be shared amongst us all, as opposed to just me all the time. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Okay, you go do it.
Hello, and welcome to Three Geeks in a Pod, or once again this week, Two Geeks in a Pod. This week we are missing Ja-Mez, and he's not feeling so well, but he's joining us in chat tonight, so that's nice. So we'll be able to contribute somewhat to the conversation. And Errol's tired today. We're both tired. Why are we tired?
You're supposed to give all the information about the chat.
I'm sorry.
And the dings.
So this is our weekly podcast for all things geeky. You can find us at debsanderrol.com /3GP. We also have a chat room going, a live chat room.
I have a funny hairdo.
He has a funny hairdo. And
I look like I'm from the 70s.
If you would like to ask questions or contribute to the chat, you can go to debsanderrol.com /chat, which the link is right there, hopefully, if you can read it. I don't know how blurry it is on our YouTube site. Just a note, though, we do have a bit of a lag in this, so it's about a 2-minute lag, so if we don't answer your question for 2 minutes, that's really professional, Errol. So original. Seriously?
I'm trying to scratch my back. It's itchy.
It's just like, you just disappear. Like, oh,
look,
great.
it's just man pants in a chair. You can't tell. It's the man pan and chair.
You can also find us on Facebook, Three Geeks in a Pod, that's number 3, and also, on YouTube. So you can either watch the video on YouTube or on the Debs and Errol website. So this week, we did have a topic. Unfortunately, because Ja-Mez wasn't able to join us and because it was his topic that he thought of, I thought it might be a better idea to do something differently. And Errol suggested this topic, and you can take it from here.
My back is itchy.
You should have dealt with it.
You talk some more about the topic. Talk about what we did all weekend.
What we did all weekend. Oh yeah, we can do some quick little news things. So Errol has created a club, actually. A club has been born today. It's called the Princess Bride Knitting Club. And it involves, today it involved a group of us getting together and watching. It's foam. It's not going to scratch.
Oh, it's an umbrella.
Oh my god. This is going to be like such a long hour. You were from the 70s.
There we go.
So anyway, a few days ago, Errol decided he wanted to watch The Princess Bride and knit, and then he thought, oh, why don't we invite our friend? No, first it was just watch The Princess Bride, right? Because your girls had never seen it.
Oh yeah, that's right, because my
started.
fam is away. No, my wife is away.
Yeah.
And it's been extra hard for me because my wife is away.
But his kids had never seen The Princess Bride, so he's like, why don't we watch it? Ooh, why don't we invite friends? Oh, let's have a knitting circle Princess Bride watching party, and because I'm Errol, I'm gonna post it on Facebook. Like just this, and suddenly we got a whole bunch of interest in this. Suddenly this became the.
I post that I'm gonna go 80s dancing. Did people go? No. No, nobody wants to go 80s dancing. I post that I'm doing a Princess Bride knitting circle. Bam! There were like 65 likes on that post.
Yeah, and they're all like, can I come? Can I Skype in? Can I? And so I panicked because Errol volunteered my apartment.
That's right, you guys probably read the comic.
He probably read the comic,
Yes.
So he volunteered my apartment, which is a bachelor apartment, which fits like maybe 8 people maximum before it starts to feel crowded. Are you seriously?
Itchy.
Is it still itchy?
Hi, Melly. Hi, Featherweight.
Hi, Featherweight. Hi, Melly. So anyway, yeah, and then I started panicking because well, I can't fit that many people in my apartment, so poor Errol had to refuse them. So now it's snowballing. Now we're like planning.
Amy is a planning fiend.
Mm-hmm.
She's found herself a projector.
Yeah.
And now we just need to find a place.
A venue. We're gonna have like 50 knitters in the room.
No, we're not.
But anyway, so
we
that's
should advertise it on Ravelry.
No.
Why not? It'd be fun.
I guess we could.
We could put it like, the Princess Bride Knitting Club meets every Wednesday.
So it's going to be officially the Princess Bride Knitting Club.
And for October, because it's Halloween, I think what our plans are, we're going to watch The Shining, because I've never seen The Shining.
But this brings us to the Princess Bride Knitting Club, brings us to our one news item, which is that Errol has very little testosterone left. No, man.
I've got tons. What happened? Yeah, this thing when everybody started bringing treats. Somebody brought chocolate.
Yeah.
Brownies.
I made a pie.
There's pies. Lots of popcorn. My girls enjoyed it though. The Princess Bride.
Yeah, it was good. So that was what we did today.
How much did I finish?
I was knitting.
Yeah.
I have a project.
I'm still knitting my. If you've been reading my Geek Guy knitting blog, this is the one that I restarted about 4 times. Sad state of affairs. So hopefully I don't have to restart it at all.
Yeah.
It's all awesome. So yeah, so that's kind of fun. So
it's
fun because on Friday night I went out to a concert with one of my workmates, and I dragged Amy along. Then we all went dancing on Saturday, and I dragged Amy to that too, and her friend Marlena.
Except the dance.
And Kelson came, and Bunny came, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
Kevin came.
Except there wasn't too much dancing that ended up happening because when we got there was a band that was playing, and they were so bad. So bad. I don't like to badmouth bands.
At least we don't know who they are.
We don't know who they are. We can't name them. It was bad.
It was experimental keyboard and out-of-tune guitar. Not just like, I know we're keyboard and out-of-tune guitar, but there was like electric guitar and a lot of yelling. And,
a lot of yelling things like, "We are from the planet Earth." That was one of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Another one was, "We are ancient Egyptians." And I'm like,
I moved further back because it was so loud. It was loud too on the Friday night. We were at the Horseshoe, and they were loud.
We're old.
And then on Sunday, there were Jeanette and Amy and Manpans and I and my 2 kids. Poor Amy had to hang out with me 3 days in a row.
Well,
even Manpans only had 2 days in a row.
I've hung out with you 3
Although
days in
you
a row
were
before.
all day Saturday.
Yeah, it was an all day.
We had the funs. What did we do in the morning?
Went for breakfast first.
Filipino breakfast, awesome.
And then we went back to we watched 4 episodes of Doctor Who.
4 episodes of Doctor Who. My eldest had started watching it again, so that's awesome.
And then we practiced the skit that we're going to do this Saturday, which is fun. And then we went
there was also the zombie photo shoot for Zoe.
Oh, the
but
zombie
it was so
photo
cold.
shoot. It was very cold.
Zoe. Yeah, we should get on to the topic.
We should get on to the topic.
Oh, it's only 8:08 though. We haven't been talking that much.
No, we haven't.
I should put up the time here so I know. There we go.
Think.
Because you see, I was thinking that it's 20 minutes in already, but no.
Nope. We'll get to the topic. So why don't you describe the topic? Because you thought of it.
How about you describe it and I'll read what people are talking about in the chat.
But no, why? Why? Describe it.
No, Kari, I haven't seen The Shining. That's why we want to have this knitting group, so that I can watch all these movies I have not seen.
And I have not seen. There's quite a few I haven't seen.
Yeah, so it's good for this next one. You just see, it's Amy's favorite. Now the core members of the Princess Bride Knitting Club.
Princess Bride Knitting Club. It was a room full of girls and Errol, and it was so great.
Anyway, what are we talking about? Anyway, so yeah, because you see, I needed a movie for my kids to watch, and I knew Princess Bride would be good, but I also wanted a movie that I haven't seen because there's so many movies I have not seen.
Yeah, there's a lot I haven't seen.
Shining being one of them. I know I've seen so many clips from it, but that's about it.
So speaking of movies, so our topic this week, Errol thought of it, is movies or games or even television shows that have changed the industry.
Wait, I didn't say it was only for knitters only about this club.
We were joking about that though.
Oh, who was joking about that? Oh yeah, but other people go. If you, for example, make chainmail, you can certainly come. If you craft, if you draw web comics,
well, we will judge you if you do not have something to do.
If Kari draws web comics,
yes,
I'd like Kari to come because she's like in the morning ritual of saying hello.
Carol objecting to loudness now. I've heard everything.
Yeah, concert was loud. If it's louder than me, I'm sad.
Topic.
Oh wait, I don't have a link back to the 3G poo. Oh, I knew I forgot something.
What?
I do not have a link to
Oh, you have to do that. Okay, you do that while I describe the topic.
You talk about.
Okay, so we're talking about movies and TV shows and games that have changed their respective industries. So, for instance, movies that change the way we look or make movies nowadays. I thought that was a great topic. I tried writing some stuff down beforehand. Errol said he would talk about it, but he seems to keep passing the buck to me.
Oh, Lord Hera can't join us.
Why is that?
Doesn't the iPad not liken the dingbat?
Lord Hera has lots of computer problems.
Okay, you keep talking.
Keep talking. So a couple of them I wrote down, because there's been there's obviously been quite a few, but I found it actually a little difficult just because it's hard to pinpoint when exactly, what movie exactly changed the way we look at things. You look at the way movies are filmed now and the way that movies are acted in now, and it's like, what was there a particular movie or was it a gradual thing? I can think of games, for instance, as well.
My tummy's so full.
There's Errol's contribution to the podcast. It's because you ate your children's food as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. What are we talking about?
Industry-changing movies. You wanted to talk about disruptive technology. That's what you called it. You called it that. Those were the words you used. Don't look at them like man, she's a weirdo. No, you said these words. You said these words to me, and you're like, I want to talk about that. And you said, I'll say some things about it. Yeah, like technology that's God's sake, man, it's your topic, and you just acting like a big old jerk. This is me. This is where the surface of this is me, flailing around.
Are you pretending to be in Jaws?
Ah!
Remember that cover of Jaws and she's swimming? Or no, was that The Abyss?
I've never seen Jaws.
You haven't seen Jaws?
No.
Oh, maybe we should watch that as one of our movie nights. Oh, is it too scary?
Not too scary. Too sharks.
What? You don't think Jaws is a good film or something? Oh, Ja-Mez will have a word with you, I think. Anyway, have you guys ever heard of? It's interesting. There's this guy. I forgot his name. And he writes about this. If you take MBAs or anything like that, you read all these sorts of books on the innovator's dilemma and disruptive technologies and stuff like that. Hello, Jezebel. And this doesn't really relate to the topic, but I'm gonna give you an interesting thing, a little interesting story, and it's about RCA. You guys remember RCA? You'll see a little dog by a megaphone. That was their logo for a while,
okay.
Right? Remember RCA?
I remember RCA.
They're a company.
Yes.
Yes, and they made TVs. They made all sorts of things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were huge in making TVs and all sorts of media stuff, things like that. And this was way back in the day with the vacuum tubes. Those big honking. Oh, I have a vacuum tube thingy. That's awesome. I could even show you a vacuum tube.
Really?
If I could actually find this thingy.
You look at Errol's belly for a few minutes.
Yeah, why don't you look at my belly? Look at my belly. Is it showing? Oh, wait, you can barely see it in there. Darn it. I can't open this up.
I was excited.
No, I can't. There's a tube app in front of here. Inside there, a little vacuum tube. A lot of amps still use vacuum tubes because...
Ja-Mez says, man, I'm making you watch Jaws. No objections.
Anyway, the interesting about vacuum tubes, and you always know what vacuum tubes are, is that you need an on and you need off, just like in binary. That's what microchips do. And eventually you have an on-off sort of thing. But what vacuum tubes also allowed you to do is the variable between on and off. And that's what makes them still kind of like wanted when it comes to like guitar amps and things like that, because they still have a different feel than just, especially, you know, guitar snobs. Anyway, the whole point is that that's what TVs were made out of, and a lot of stereo systems, they were used vacuum tubes. Then along comes this thing called the transistor. And the transistor was about this big with a little square on top, and it was very small. And it did everything that that big, huge vacuum tube did, right?
But better? Or?
No.
No?
It didn't do it better, but it was smaller. And so what happened is RCA tried to implement the transistor because they saw that's where the technology was going. They saw that it was going to get smaller, and you got this awesome thing called the transistor that's really small, but it couldn't handle the same amount of power as a vacuum tube. So in other words, you know, they poured millions of dollars, maybe thousands, I don't know, with the whole rate of money going.
Sorry, Car had the best one there.
So they poured lots and thousands of dollars trying to make vacuum tubes work. Transistors work, and it did not work, you see. And the thing is, they had this huge industry already built with vacuum tubes. So in other words, you know, and nobody wanted it because all the money was made in vacuum tube TV repairs and stereo repairs, right? That's where, so like no stores wanted to like have anything to do with transistors because it was, you could repair vacuum tubes. So along comes a company, I forget the company, might even have been Sony. It was a small company that decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make these things called transistor radios. So they made transistor radios. They were small, they were tiny, and they were tinny, and they sounded like utter junk. They weren't very good. But for teenagers, they had nothing else. So, I mean, they couldn't go out and afford a big stereo system, but they could afford a small transistor radio. And now nobody wanted those transistor radios, except you had all these new stores popping up like Kmart and stuff like that,
right?
Which sold small, cheap things, and so that flooded the thing. And so they got an untapped market of teenagers having absolutely nothing, and now they have those little radios, and then it boomed since then, right? And so the idea of disruptive technology is not so much about the technology, but about a company having way too much invested in everything that they had, that they couldn't make the switch over, even though they really, really, really tried. So it's not like that they're backwards. I mean, a lot of people think, yeah, these big dinosaurs, they don't know how, because they just want to stick to what's
It's just everything was so tied up in vacuum tubes by that point.
That they couldn't. There was just no...
So you almost needed to make a fresh company, like a big company.
But then if you split like that, then how much do you allocate to all your old customers, and how much do you split to the new ones? Because I think they tried to, and it still didn't work, right? Because they always had that they were divided in those two things, and when you're competing against each other, it's not exactly. Because then eventually transistors became better, and then of course came microchips, and then before you know, all sorts of things.
It is interesting because you can't really predict what new technology will become more popular. Like when DVDs came out, and the large majority was like VHS. It's sort of like when VHS came out, and before that it was Beta. It's like there's no telling.
No, the Betamax, they were kind of like in competition to each other.
The Beta and VHS?
Yes.
Yeah.
Betamax was a lot better quality, but more expensive. And VHS
really? I didn't know that.
Was a lot easier and cheaper. Yeah.
Okay.
And VHS won out.
That's because of the cheapness, probably?
Yeah. There's probably all sorts of things that I don't understand. Because I didn't take an MBA or anything like that. So, they probably have all these life lessons for business people. You know what's really cool is that I remember when I've said this before, when the first VHS machine came out, my aunt got one. I don't know how much money she spent on it, probably a lot of money, and they were so excited. And they had to take, look, and I have the sound of music. And we're going, uh-huh. So you want to watch it? Because you can watch it right now if you want. Okay, no, I don't want to watch the sound of music. But you can watch it right now. It's great. I'm going to go play, though. But look, if anytime you want to watch the sound of music, we can. Anytime. So
what she meant was, right now. Right now.
I did not want to watch the sound of music because we watched it every Christmas. And it's a good show. My kids love it. But.
So what movies did you have in mind when you were thinking, like...
What movies do you have in mind?
Well, I was thinking...
Obviously, there's the big one. There's Star Wars.
There's Star Wars.
Right?
Star Wars is one of the big ones. Ja-Mez mentioned the Jazz Singer. I think, I might be wrong, is that the first talkie, basically?
The Jazz Singer?
The Jazz Singer is the very first film with vocal sound.
Was it really?
Yeah. It was a musical type of thing. And I was trying to remember what it was, and he reminded me. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So that was one of the big ones. Because that
film was
a big industry changer. Actually, when I was thinking about it, because I was thinking about how film changed acting in general. Because if you look at the progression of film acting, it's actually like what.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Oh.
We're all killing Ja-Mez. He's going, how could none of you have watched Jaws? And they're all going in the chat. I went to the ride at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
That counts. Melly, there's a shark in it. Is that spoilers?
Which is funny because Jaws was kind of a game-changing movie in terms of the summer blockbuster. That definitely.
There wasn't before Jaws. There wasn't anything that happened in the summer that was interesting at all. Who wants to go outside?
Right. So this idea of the summer blockbuster now, it only happened, I guess, the last 20. When did Jaws come out? 30-ish years then?
Before 1975 or 76, I can't remember.
Yeah, almost over 30 years, but still, when you look at the history of film and stuff, yeah, like, I don't know when, like, the seasons for film came out, but Jaws definitely influenced.
You know what I haven't seen, and it's embarrassing?
What?
Because I'm an 80s kid.
What?
I have not seen The Breakfast Club.
Really? I didn't see it until I was, like...
I haven't even seen Footloose.
I haven't seen Footloose.
I haven't seen all these things that should have
Did you see Dirty Dancing?
I did see Dirty Dancing.
There you go.
Yes.
But as I was saying before, the style of acting when you first saw film and stuff, it was very theatrical because they were still making this transition and not realizing what film could do that theater could not. And film gave you a lot more intimacy. And yes, exactly like that, Errol. So, like, whereas before you'd have to, like, project and make all these huge facial expressions and, like, reach a huge audience.
Jaws was 1975. There you go. You got it around there.
There you go. You said 75.
I just knew that it was before Star Wars.
Before Star Wars.
Right, because Jaws was the highest grossing film, and then Star Wars topped.
Star Wars definitely changed the view of science fiction, obviously. Mm-hmm. Think about the science fiction before Star Wars.
Product placement. So not product placement.
Product placement? Like what?
Not product placement, no. And making money off of films afterwards with the toys and the collectibles.
Oh, yes. Merchandising.
That's the word I was
That's the word product. Like what? I just pictured Luke Skywalker, like, taking out a Diet Coke and just be like...
Or maybe there's a Mattel on the lightsaber.
Mattel. Except they pronounce it differently. Madel, they'll call it or something. I don't know. Just stop looking at me like a blame.
Sorry, what were you talking about?
I was talking about acting.
Oh, go ahead. Act away.
Can I act away?
Yeah, be an actor.
An actor. But, like, what the camera can do is, well, the camera has close-ups. And so when you see those first silent films, it very much plays like a play on the screen. And
they'd always have a close-ups and, like, the whole...
And it'd be very melodramatic.
And it'd be fuzzy around it, and then the girls would blink an awful lot.
That's true.
What was one I saw? A Night to Remember? Was that the one I saw?
Is that the Titanic one?
No. Maybe it wasn't called that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was an old film. 19...
Yeah.
Okay.
Spaceballs.
Okay, go ahead.
But But like and then as you progressed on, they still had that sort of melodramatic feel. But look at films now, and it's a lot more subtle, I guess. Performances.
Yeah.
There's a lot more internal, and there's a lot less going on outwardly. And you can tell, like even the dialogue's changed and stuff. But like the camera work had to change in order to make it work.
So it was really interesting when we went and saw Frankenstein and Dracula, because they had no music in it.
There was no music, and that was because when I had to go and read about this afterwards, because I barely knew anything about the first Dracula and Frankenstein, and when we walked in and we sat there, I was waiting for the music to come along, and it's kind of amazing how much I depend on music to let me know how I should feel at any given point. So the reason, though, they didn't have music when I researched it was that when silent films stopped and they were developing the first talkies, they didn't believe that music was the right thing to put in because it wasn't realistic enough. They were like, guys, we have sound now. We can hear them talk. It's just people will not believe that there can be music in the background now if they can hear the actors talk. So they left it. There's no score. None. At the beginning, I think there is, when they're introducing the film.
And Ja-Mez says that we should mention one of the earlier films. You have to mention Birth of a Nation.
What's Birth of a Nation?
Birth of a Nation.
He's going to have to... I don't know that one, actually.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
What do you know of it?
The Birth of a Nation, I think, of the U.S.
You are useful.
I'm super useful. I gotta keep it hard.
Still worth a study. But those are the early ones. I was thinking of even recent ones like that affected at least a blockbuster. Titanic was a big one that changed the way.
And it topped Star Wars.
It topped Star Wars
in regards to grossest film. Right?
Now, what are the major?
Star Wars beat just. Actually, also Gone with the Wind, right? So Star Wars beat Jaws, and then it reigned supreme until Titanic. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. The thing with Titanic, though, like besides the effects and besides the acting and besides like all that kind of stuff, there was a really little thing that really influenced the movie industry because of Titanic, and that was its running time. I feel like Titanic, there were other extremely long movies before Titanic, but I feel like Titanic was the one that started that 3-hour movie trend.
How long was Gone with the Wind? It was like 2 tapes.
It was a lot. Yeah, 2 tapes. That's how I knew it was an epic movie. Same with Braveheart.
Like, oh my goodness.
Because after Titanic, though, you got a slew of movies that were like, before you go into a movie, you'd expect it to be an hour and a half, maybe. And now it's like 2 hours minimum, I think, for a movie.
If it's an epic movie.
If it's an epic movie. Comedies are even 2 to 2.5 hours now, I think.
Well, it depends on the movie. Not every movie is like 2 hours. Animated films aren't. Anyway.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was a game changer.
That was a big game changer.
I still remember seeing those dinosaurs on the big screen. That was like awesome.
Yeah. In effect. It was but it was also one of the last films to really depend on animatronics for its.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
It was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, raptors were were like people in suits. I want to be a raptor. That'd be fun.
I know 2 people that have the raptor suits.
Oh, really? They have their own?
They have their own. If you can see them, Connell, Dr. Holocaust, often does little skits with them.
I want one.
You want one.
Fun.
That was a long movie. I feel like Braveheart, it deserves. I forget when Braveheart came out. I think it was around the same time.
Basically, what she's commenting on, what she didn't say, is I feel like Braveheart deserves some credit for the long movie trend.
Sorry, goodness.
Poor man pants.
Yeah. Comedies were usually. Sorry, Ja-Mez.
Me too, Mercenary Fan. I want to see Metropolis, the 1920s version.
Is there a 1920s Metropolis?
Yeah, don't you remember that golden robot girl in front of this Stella? No. You probably saw the picture of Metropolis just by Googling it. You probably recognize it because it's a very old 1920s film.
Oh.
And it's like a classic. That's another thing I want to see too.
The other one that was a huge game changer.
See, look, see, doesn't that look familiar to you?
No.
No.
Actually, sorry.
See, none of these pictures of Metropolis look familiar to you. Okay. Okay.
Oh wait, maybe yes, one of them does.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. 1920s film.
Not 1920s. I was thinking the other game changer I had written down for myself was Toy Story.
Yes, that was a huge game changer.
Not just, well, for animated films, for sure, because it kind of marked the beginning of that huge slew of computer animated movies. And cell animation is a rarity now, in terms of feature films.
Except for Miyazaki.
Except for Miyazaki. Miyazaki's hanging in there. But that's I'm talking about Western movies for the most part.
Yeah, what's the last animated feature film?
I mean, there was a Princess Frog.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think
other than that,
that's still like 3 years old.
Yeah, it's getting old now. I can't really think of one. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the last one I could think of was like in 2000, before Princess Frog was 2002 with like Lilo and Stitch, and
Anyway,
it's tough to think of. What else?
What, you put Doom as a game changer?
Yeah.
That movie wasn't that much of a game changer.
Not the movie, the game.
Just like, oh, let's go watch Doom.
The game, Doom and Wolfenstein and stuff, like kind of introduced that first-person shooter. And Doom? That was a strategy game, wasn't it?
I think it was one of the very first,
Yeah.
RTS games.
I played that.
Yes. Then after Doom came Warcraft 1.
Warcraft 1.
Yes, and Warcraft 2. And that started the whole RTS genre.
Yeah.
Right, kind of. And then came StarCraft. And then it went downhill.
Downhill. X-Men started... X-Men did start the comic book trend. Or at least taking it seriously. Because you don't see a lot of... Like, think the 90s...
No, but very early, you still had the whole Superman, and you
had it, but
Superman was there.
There was a time, though, between,
Swamp Thing.
But how many people took that seriously?
Well, I don't know, but it was still a major movie that I went to watch. I liked Swamp Thing as a kid. It was gross. No, because he was Swamp Thing.
But like, there was like a period between the 80s and 90s where
Ghibli as a whole, Mercenary Pen. Wondering if, like, do I mean Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli? Because Miyazaki is retiring about the whole traditional cell animation. Actually, but in Japan, there's still tons of traditional.
There's tons of traditional animation in Japan.
And that's just it. The problem with us is that we're very westernized. We don't know anything about stuff outside of us.
I had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon written down. Mostly, I don't know though, I might just be grasping at this one, but just for me anyway, living in Sarnia, it was like sort of the mark of foreign films being treated as a mainstream
Yeah, I think so. Was that like, because that was probably one of the very first ones of Asia. That reaching the,
Because it was nominated for Oscars,
Yeah.
it was, that was my first experience with... Yeah, that was my first Asian film I ever saw.
A wuxia film?
I guess so. Is that the person who made it?
No, it's the style.
Oh, okay.
Where there's a lot of wire and epic and
I see.
bamboo.
There was a lot of bamboo in that movie.
Yeah.
It was all very graceful.
It's too sad, though.
It's too sad?
I won't watch it. I went and saw it again in the theater the second time. Then I got to the halfway through the point that I remembered the sadness that was going to happen, and I was going, oh, I don't want to watch it again. Because I liked it, and I thought, oh no, it's going to be sad. And then I got sad, and I was like, no, I don't want so I didn't.
Oh, there were other Disney, someone mentioned that there were other Disney films that were not CG in the last few years, but those were direct-to-video sequels, and they're not always that good, unfortunately. Is there a Disney sequel that's good? Rescuers Down Under was good. That was back in the 90s, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a good sequel that didn't go straight to video.
Yeah.
Much.
Anyway. What else? Oh, one thing I actually, that was a huge thing anyway for, that I think is, just the invention of DVDs. Not just because of the technology, but because of how we treat behind the scenes now. It was kind of an industry changer because how much effort did people put in before DVDs to make documentaries about the process, or do commentaries, or do
Ja-Mez
Sadness, Errol?
Like talking
Sadness?
about yeah, Crouching Tiger, his drag was sad.
You were sad. Yeah. That's changed. But like before DVDs, you didn't really have like behind the scenes stuff that really wasn't.
What was the first sequel to a movie?
The first sequel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Although that doesn't go, because they did it with the whole Frankenstein and Wolfenstein thing.
They had a whole
probably
bunch
that,
of those.
It's like, oh, people like Frankenstein, let's make another one. And let's make it against Wolfman.
What was this? Grave of the Fireflies. What about the time you made me watch Grave of the Fireflies?
Grave of the Fireflies was very sad. Yes.
Very sad.
Sorry, you were talking about stuff.
I was talking about stuff. I forget. I'm sorry.
You have Chicago down there as a game changer.
I did, because that kind of brought about it kind of brought a revival of musical movies. Because think about what movie musical came before Chicago, like the last one.
Little Shop of Horrors.
When was that?
I don't know.
That was in the late 70s, early 80s, and I think that was
80s.
one of the last ones. And
Disney films.
Disney films. Those are a different type of, like live action ones. Like think about you think about like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. There were a ton of movie musicals.
An American in Paris.
What is that?
That's with Gene Kelly.
Oh, okay. What was that? That was like probably in the 50s or 60s. Oh my goodness. I saw Singing in the Rain finally.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I don't think I've really seen that. I've seen parts of it, and I bought it for my sister. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, weird.
Yeah, but when Chicago came around, like no one really took movie musicals all that seriously, and they weren't really all that common anymore. And then Chicago came out, and it won all those big awards, and it won everything, and then suddenly everybody wanted to make a movie musical. They made that terrible adaptation of Phantom of the Opera. They did Nine. They did.
Nine was a musical?
Not the CG animated
okay.
Nine. There was another movie called Nine that's a musical.
When did Moulin Rouge come out?
Moulin Rouge, 1999.
Was that before Chicago?
That was before Chicago. I think Chicago was 2001. What? Are you just smug now because you're right?
I came up with something.
Oh my god, you're such a jerk. You're just like, Moulin Rouge came out first.
How about movies about video games?
Oh god.
Is there a good one ever?
Is there? Yeah, that's a good question. Is there a good video game movie out there? Like movies based on a video game. The Mario Brothers one was just weird and crazy.
I did see that in the theaters.
Yeah. That's
how old I am.
A little weird.
It was weird.
And there was Mortal Kombat.
I didn't mind the first Mortal Kombat. Of course, I was probably a teenager when I saw it.
Yeah, you were just like, fighting is awesome!
Because the second one was pretty bad.
What's another one? I've never seen The Karate Kid. That was one I've never seen, actually.
I did see The Karate Kid.
Did see The Karate Kid?
I actually liked the second one. I liked the remake of The Karate Kid.
Oh, you like the remake? I haven't seen the remake. That's on Netflix. I should watch that.
You know what Jackie Chan doesn't do in that film? Overact. It was impressive.
Oh.
Because you see Jackie Chan, when he gets a serious film, man, does that man overact. It's insane. So he didn't overact in that.
Is there an Animal Crossing movie?
Animal Crossing movie.
Tron. Tron was a game. Was Tron a game changer? I don't think it was a game changer. it used different technology, but...
You know, what another thing that's interesting about Star Wars as being a game changer, it changed a lot of technology.
Yes.
Right? So you had Skywalker Studios, you had Industrial Light and Magic, blah, blah, blah.
Wreck-It Ralph, how is that a game changer? That's not I wouldn't, sorry. I wouldn't consider Wreck-It Ralph a video game, like a movie based on video games. Because I'm talking about already established video game worlds that Wreck-It Ralph was very good at spoofing a lot of these video game worlds. There isn't one, like, there wasn't an original Wreck-It Ralph game and then someone decided to make a movie about it. Clue is a movie based off a game.
That's true.
And that's a fun movie.
Board game. That was
a board game.
That was impressively good.
It works. I think they're making Henry.
Are they still? No.
I don't think so, but...
I didn't see Battleship. Did anybody see Battleship?
I did not see Battleship. I kind of refused. Met Tron in the video game movie category. Was Tron a video game?
No, Tron wasn't a video game before the movie.
No.
There are a lot of video games made after the movie Tron.
Yeah.
I played them. There was the arcade game. I played the Tron games on the Intellivision.
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 That's a silly name for a console.
No, you're kidding. It was awesome.
It sounds like
Discs of Tron.
It sounds like a name you'd give like a crappy sci-fi like invention. Hello, children, it's my Intellivision here.
Awesome.
We're going to go back in time with it. Zoom, zoom, zoom. That's my sum up of 80s sci-fi.
Do you remember when they tried to make a TV series on Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Gee whiz. You know another good topic we could do? Movies that a whole whack of people suddenly became cult followings and everybody absolutely loves when it first came out was like, what is this?
That is a good topic, actually.
Although I wouldn't be able to say, right? Because I don't know what people really like now. All of a sudden, all these movies that I watched as a kid and I liked, but I didn't go to town with them. All of a sudden, it's just like, oh wow, this is like so amazing. This movie was everything.
Or board game movies or whatever. What's another one? I just wrote some stuff down. Like I found that the 40-Year-Old Virgin was a big influence on comedy, at least.
Yeah, it changed that.
It changed the way they were filmed. It changed the way they acted. There's a lot of movies now where they just let the actors go and improv. And that Judd Apatow sort of style has been mimicked a lot, I find, in movies. Mm-hmm. Or there just is a lot of Judd Apatow movies. The spoof movie in general, what was it like?
You mean Nielsen?
Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen?
Leslie Nielsen.
He did like all the Naked Gun ones and
same with Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks doing all his stuff.
Spaceballs. What? 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Have you heard of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No.
Wow, also, all these tropes, Man Pants does not have heard of.
I don't pay attention to tropes. What's this trope? What's 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? Tell me.
So what other things do we have?
Kickstarter. That's an obvious one. But it's really influenced the way that TV shows are made, that movies are made, because suddenly the studios are having to rethink their strategies for paying for these things, because it used to be you would go around to studios and you'd beg them for money to produce your movie. And it still is that, but now suddenly people have this crowdsourcing option, and studios are losing out on it. Another one is, well, again, some of these are obvious. Some of these are like...
You know what will be interesting if it is going to be a game changer? Is the whole, with the whole... Kevin Spacey put out this address.
I was just about to mention that.
Oh, did you watch it?
I didn't watch the address, but...
Go ahead, mention.
No, I think you know where you're going with it.
Okay, no, you can say it. Say it, man, fans, I talk too much!
What?
My job is not to give off information.
Why not?
My job is to make you sad.
Yeah, Ghost Story, Mercenary Pen just asked, is Ghostbusters a game changer? Not really, I don't think. It was definitely very good, but...
I howled at Ghostbusters as a kid. What was the first... Oh, that's a dumb movie question. What was the first horror movie? Oh, maybe Dracula. All sorts of them way back then.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, I want to see that one too.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one
I'd
to
like
see.
to see what.
Have you ever seen Shadow of the Vampire?
No, I wanted to see that as well. I heard that was good.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was just weird.
I don't know if people would watch that at our knitting circle.
Name a celebrity, you connect that celebrity to Kevin Bacon by 6 people. Okay. Interesting.
That's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. What were we? Yeah. So
you're talking about
Netflix thing.
Yeah. Go ahead. Talk about
So one
Kevin
thing that's
Spacey.
changing, and I'm really interested to see where it's going, is the whole streaming thing. Netflix, for instance, you pay $8 a month, and you get access to all sorts of movies. But what Netflix has started doing is that they have started to release shows exclusive to them. The first one was House of Cards. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's really good. And
this is different than like something being exclusive to HBO, because it was still on a weekly basis.
Right.
What you can do with House of Cards, you can watch the whole thing all at once.
Everything's released all at the same time, and that'll be interesting. So what did the Kevin Spacey speech?
Basically about that, how it's changing and how the industry should change with it. This is what people want, sort of thing.
Because this is the thing, it's like the information age, and we like the ability to be able to access all information all at the same time in this old method of releasing things week to week. Well, this is the thing we have when we didn't have the internet, it didn't matter so much because
or DVDs. Now you can get DVD collections.
You can get DVD collections. The digitization of everything is affecting how DVD sales now. What is it? Blockbuster closed, Rogers closed, just because of our ability to download and stream.
I'm going through this with my daughters. a lot of
Doctor Who's. Nosferatu is a hard one to sit through. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you serious?
Talk about, music affecting man pans. Just like doing that.
Music is a huge thing with me. Shut up. I know you're not saying anything, but you are.
Sorry, you were talking about Kickstarter.
I was talking about Kickstarter.
No, you're talking about like Netflix.
Netflix and digitization and how that's affecting, DVD sales and that. The companies are floundering now because of because of our ability to stream it.
Oh, that's true. And Ja-Mez did say, an episode about game changers and no mention of Citizen Kane.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I haven't seen it either, but I do know that it's a game changer.
It's a huge game changer.
Orson Welles did insane things with
cinematography, with
lots of things.
Lots of things. Poor Orson Welles. He was 26 when he made that movie, and he couldn't really top himself after that.
Yeah,
and
that's the way.
That's crazy. That was like his peak, and then and he never really recovered from that. But Citizen Kane is also a good example of one that was a flop and didn't do well at the box office, but gained not just a huge cult following, but suddenly everyone realized what a brilliant movie it was and how ahead of its time it was, and how much it influenced the way we make movies today. The thing with Orson Welles is that he had a mind that was so ahead of its time in terms of making movies, but he didn't have the equipment to back him up. He didn't have the technology. I can't believe it's almost a year since Nano Musical. Somebody says, I can't believe it either. Oh man. Yeah.
You were saying?
You talk now.
Why? You were doing well.
I was doing well?
You were doing well about talking.
About talking.
Doing all that sort of stuff.
All that sort of stuff.
Obviously, computers in general became a huge game changer sort of thing.
Yeah. What else was another one?
Sometimes for the worse. Game-changing computers.
Game-changing, yeah. CG, how CG is used, what it's used for. There was a lot of old movie-making techniques that were lost because of that people just don't use anymore. Like what?
Well,
think about think about animatronics, there's not nearly as much use there. There's
You can if you go to Disneyland. And you go, it's a small world after all.
I was on that ride. Quick little sidebar. I was on that ride, and then the ride stopped.
Oh, really?
Somebody fell in the water, and
wow.
they had to go and get them, and we were stuck there with the ride for 20 minutes.
Oh, having that song. Non-stop.
Non-stop.
Oh.
I think we were stuck in, what country was it by that point?
Oh.
I think we were stuck in China by that point or something like that. I forget what countries were in there. Or was it Germany? I don't know. Anyway, I've lost my place. I was talking about Orson Welles. We were talking about computers and CG.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what old...
Oh, that's great. Mercenary Pen. Manda was doing well until you brought up Nano Musical. And I played that song. Poor man.
TV, Mercenary Pen brings up that a TV series game changer is Star Trek.
And I think there's all sorts of game changers for TV.
Yeah.
That's probably a whole new episode.
I Love Lucy was a big one too.
I Love Lucy was crazy.
Yeah.
Because what did it do?
It made her pregnant. That was a big one, actually.
Oh, they made her pregnant. That's true. They made her pregnant.
She got pregnant and she decided to just appear pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And
not only that, her husband.
Oh, yeah.
That was huge, too.
Yeah, that was huge. And, yeah, I Love Lucy broke all sorts of boundaries because on TV, you couldn't even, like, have a single bed for a married couple, let alone, like, the idea that this woman got pregnant on TV. I always love watching Pleasantville for that reason, just because it reminds you of all those...
There was a huge story about getting him on screen. What's his name again? Her husband?
Oh, Ricky
Ricardo. Ricky Schroeder.
I don't know his full name.
It's Ricky Schroeder, I think.
Okay.
It's not Ricky Schroeder.
I don't know. I know it's Ricky Ricardo, but then you said Ricky Schroeder with such conviction that I had to believe you.
I can convince you of anything.
No.
No, Ricardo Montalban.
Okay. Is it? I don't know. I don't trust you anymore.
You shouldn't.
No. Oh, God.
We call it the Montalban.
Do you want to talk about him a bit?
No, who? Ricardo Montalban?
I don't want to say the name.
Oh, Ricky Schroeder. I'm talking about Ricky Schroeder. Rick Moranis?
I'm not that stupid. Just stupid enough to believe that a Cuban named Ricky Schroeder. Oh boy.
Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to think too. I wrote down Charlie Chaplin. I'm not sure why.
Charlie's Angels?
No.
Charlie Chaplin. Or Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton. I don't think I've seen anything with Buster Keaton in it.
Buster Keaton was the inspiration for Jackie Chan.
Really?
Yep.
How so?
Well, when Jackie Chan saw all his movies and all his, because he did a lot of those stunts on his own, right?
Yeah.
Jackie Chan thought, I want to do all those stunts on my own too. And then he went, because there's the whole aspect of, the building falling and him just appearing in the window.
Yeah.
How did they do that? That's still kind of crazy for me.
You know what? In one way, CG is great because you think back to the silent movies. And those, yes, I saw that comment by Ja-Mez. That's so original, Ja-Mez. Sorry.
You're mocking Ja-Mez.
Yes, I am.
Very nice. I wish he was here to do it to each other.
When you think back to those early movies, there was no labor laws whatsoever. There was no safety guidelines. You see a lot of those, Ben-Hur, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody died. Was it a horse that died or a person?
Somebody died.
Somebody died.
Was it a horse?
No, there was...
I don't think anybody would care that much about a horse dying.
Well, no, but one of the chariots that they did that race for real.
Yes, I know. Cool,
and yeah, one of the chariots that crashed, someone, I think he was severely injured at least, like broke several ribs, was in the hospital for weeks, and it never occurred to movie makers to just,
Oh, do you remember when they first used real bullets and guns? Yeah, because it never occurred to them to actually not put real bullets in guns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there was a ton of them. Like if you look at Buster Keaton stuff. He did a bunch of stuff that was like crazy. The Exorcist 2. There was a scene in The Exorcist 2. Yes, there was a scene in The Exorcist 2 where this girl is standing on the ledge of a building, and it's like really high up. And then you find out that the director, because he wanted it to seem real, just didn't have any safety nets or anything. So this girl is like standing on a really precarious...
Did she have a harness or anything like that? No!
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. And you just see her standing on, like, leaning out on the edge, and you just, like, and you feel like, I felt my stomach drop watching it.
Must have been something. The parents allowed that? Or was she an orphan? No, seriously, what parent would allow that?
Well, I think she was of age by that point.
Oh.
Because it was a few years after the first one was made. Same actress. And so,
Hi, Woody.
Errol's saying that mocking someone is wrong.
Anyway, so you're talking about something.
Just safety in there. Like, I want to know at what point they started to think to themselves, maybe we should put some laws in place, or maybe that's where the acting unions came up, because just so many people were getting hurt.
I know Jackie Chan has his own fund to help his stuntmen because they don't have insurance.
Really?
Nobody will insure them in China.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
And when he came over here, there was a lot of rules and regulations. So
yeah.
It was really funny. There was this part, if you'll see in the first Rush Hour, and I remember reading about this, where he'll climb up the tree and jump in the window. Mm-hmm. And the director's going, oh, cool, do that again, right? Because the director didn't know all the things that he could do. And so, he probably does, but he jumped up and does it again. It's like, can you do that, like, on command? That's not just like, I can do that all the time. And he keeps on doing it, right? And so they're about to film it, and then somebody on the production team saw him. Whoa, what are you doing? You have to put in. So they had to change the whole angle because they put in all this padding and stuff from the fall on. But he had already done it like 10 times before that.
And then you get to go and mock orphans. Mm-hmm.
But it is crazy when you see all this stuff, like when they do the outtakes. It's like, oh, good, they landed on some cardboard. Oh!
I never used to have that. Or, like, even, I was reading this book called Adventures of a No-Name Actor. He was describing the stunt he had to do, and he wanted to do it. This is the problem with actors. They want the job, and they feel like they don't have a choice but to agree to whatever. And he had actually just had knee surgery, and they want him to do this jump off this ledge and, like, land and, on his, like, kind of kneeling. And he was sort of like, well, the thing is, I just kind of had surgery, and he saw, like, people were like, oh, crap, we're going to have to hire somebody else. And he's like, but I can do it! I can totally do it! I can do it! It's fine! And he went to do his doctor the next day, and the doctor's like, what did you do? Because the knee was even worse than when before he got the surgery.
Wow.
And, yeah.
So in the end, don't do sports.
Don't do sports. Or be a stuntman.
Oh, he was a stuntman?
No, he wasn't a stuntman.
Oh, okay.
He was just an actor. He was like, I can do the stuntman, because it's one of those stunts you kind of have to do because your face is visible the whole time. So.
I always like watching those behind-the-scene things. They were always fun.
Yeah. Right? Those are fun. I was like, where was this? I remember there was a Titanic VHS that came out. When the VHS came out, there was like a special, collector's edition you could get that had a VHS of like all these behind-the-scenes stuff. So this is what you got? I wanted it so badly.
Were you a Titanic?
I was.
What is it called? Fan?
I was, but not because...
Titanic fan?
But I wasn't a fan of the romance. No? I was fascinated by the events, and then I was like, I bought books on... I didn't...
I remember reading A Night to Remember in grade 8.
Mm-hmm.
I had like one of the very first color printers. It was fun, so I printed out my cover of my report. in color, and I drew a black Titanic with yellow windows on it. Blue.
Aww,
yeah.
Effort. Did you get? Was it a good report?
I have no idea.
But the cover was pretty.
Yeah, I guess we'll know it was a pixelated cover. It's, still.
Sort of stopped dead there.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Oh, it's 9 o'clock, so I guess we just automatically stop. Like, we're game changers and stuff. Any others you can think of?
Probably, but it's 9 o'clock. But we can talk about a few other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
A couple other things.
You know what we should do? Is that maybe we should ask our audience to give us, like, things they might want us to talk about. Because when it comes down to it, this was like a last-minute thing. Next week, if Ja-Mez is joining us, what's happening next week? Am I busy next week?
I don't know, the 29th?
Yeah, I don't think I'm busy.
We're doing Monkey Night the night before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I have a wedding the night before that. This has been, all my weekends are busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, this weekend I was busy because it was my fault. I wanted to do fun things with friends.
Yeah, and you did.
Because my wife was away. I didn't want to be lonely.
Poor Errol.
And then all of that, now because of that, I'm in a knitting club.
That's your fault.
What?
Your fault. You're in a knitting. Well, you've always wanted a knitting club, though. And by always, I mean since last year, since you started knitting. Maybe. Are you texting people?
Texting my wife.
Woo!
Her train is delayed 15 minutes.
Oh, they're always delayed 15 minutes.
Poor wife. I'll never see wife.
Yes, you will. And it will be good. And it will be awesome. And we should probably wrap up.
So is there anything? But anyway, so if there are any other kind of questions you might want to ask us,
yes,
by all means,
please
send
do.
it to us to 3geeksinapod@gmail.com. Number 3, 3geeksinapod. You can also find us on all sorts of places like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, obviously, and Gmail. We're fun there. I don't know. Actually, Ja-Mez handles all that Gmail, so he's lonely. So you should talk to him. Are you lonely too? Ja-Mez is lonely. Talk to him.
This isn't a dating site.
Oh, it's not. We're dating. Oh, your mind's always on dating because you're in heat. No, I mean, ow!
Well, there's a nice little book ending there.
What?
Oh, no, wait. You said heat earlier before we... I told you... No. Okay, never mind. I'm just... Meh. Meh. Okay.
And we have a series out called Dining and Dating.
Yes, we do.
Just in case none of you people know that, but I'm pretty sure all of you already
Probably
know.
do, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We have this series out called that. It's fun. If you want to send us questions for that series, maybe Ja-Mez can be on it too. Then it could be like an extension of 3 Geeks in a Pod. 3 Geeks in a Pod give you advice on dating.
Maybe.
Maybe. You like advice on dating. You have all sorts of advice to give us because you're a dater.
I'm like the...
Tell us about your last date.
I'm not Errol.
I'm not Vampan.
Okay, have a good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us.
You're just going to hit end broadcast that quickly?
Yeah.
What if people want to just watch us talk?
I don't.